everybody, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to be teaching you how to refill your Copic marker, but then also we are going to try to refill an Ohuhu marker. So let's get into the video. Okay, so we have this Copic marker. It's a sketch marker. And I just got my refill in, and this marker is E000. It's called Pale Fruit Pink. So what you have to do, depending on how dry they are, you'll put in about 30 to 40 drops. So I received this marker like a week or two ago, and they sent it to me dry, so I thought I would just get a refill instead, because I just feel like with the shipping and all that I would rather just avoid that. So sorry it's like a little bit dirty from the pencil, but you can see how it's very pale in this spot right here, and that's because it's very dry, and using the brush marker while it's dry is not good for the marker tip. So it looks like this right now. There's two different ways to refill. So I like to go in through the chisel nib, and what you'll do is you will take your Copic Various ink, and you will just drop it onto the nib. So just like this. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and so on. So that's 10 right there. The other way that you could do it is you can pull this nib off and drip into the barrel instead. But I would rather just do it onto the nib. I feel like it'd be less messy. And sometimes you have to wait so you don't because sometimes it takes a little bit of time to absorb into the nib, so you gotta give it a second sometimes. I kind of lost count, so I think I'm at 25. Okay, so that's 30. So I will put this cap on, and then it shouldn't take too long to absorb into the brush nib. But you're going to want to hold it like this. So while we wait for that to go down, we'll leave this right here. We're going to work on this one now. So I've never done this before with a Ohuhu marker, but this one is also very dry. So it looks like this, very dry, nothing in it. Let's see, very scratchy. So with this one, we'll do the same thing. So again, I will add 30 drops to this and then see how it is, and if I need to add 10 more, I will. See, I was doing it too quick and it dripped on me. I gotta take my own advice. The Ohuhu marker nib seems like it takes a little bit longer to absorb the ink. So you kind of gotta wait after each drop. The Copic marker nibs absorb a little bit better. And while I'm doing this, I also figured out that sometimes when you refill a marker after you've used it a few times, sometimes it's still a little like scratchy, or it seems like the marker is still dry, but that may just be because the marker pores, the pores on the nib are clogged and you need to clean it out. So you can use 99% alcohol, but this is only for cleaning. It's not for refilling into your markers. Or you can use the colorless blender alcohol and use that to clean the nib. Not sure how many I even added to this one. I feel like Ohuhu markers may hold a little bit more ink. Probably because the barrel is a little bit thicker. Like it's the same width, but this is round and this one's more flat, so. This one may need the full 40, but could use maybe even more than that. So say if you want Copic markers, but you don't want to buy the initial $5 Copic marker, you can just buy one of these, and if you have an Ohuhu marker already, you can just refill the Ohuhu marker with this ink instead. And then also, if you want the Copic nib, you could put the Copic nib onto the Ohuhu marker instead. So what you would do is you would pull out the other nib, your other brush nib, and then instead of flipping it over, because the Ohuhu marker, let's see, the nib is a little bit different than the Copic. So with the Ohuhu marker nib, it's double-sided. But the Copic nib, it's only one-sided, so there's no flipping it over. But you could take this one out, and then you can replace it with a Copic nib. But I didn't buy any nibs, so I can't show you that today. I will add about 5 more drops. And that should be good. So again, with this one, we will wait a few minutes and let it settle into the brush nib. I'll try this out and see if it's been enough. Again, it's still not enough, so it needs more ink. Maybe I'll add it. No, I'll keep adding it to this side, so then I know when it's actually full. It's getting there. So I already did like 30 drops in here, so I'm gonna add 10 more. I added 15 to this. It could take a little bit for it to sink back into the Copic marker nib. So after a certain amount of times, like maybe 15 drops, you want to give it a minute and see if it will be enough. And it's still dry, there's nothing there. On this side, I'm sure there will be a good amount. See, that's full, but I know some people fill it from the brush nib side, which you could do. And then you wouldn't have to wait for it to drop down. But I like to do it from the chisel nib side, so then I know when it's really fully full. Okay, that should be enough. I don't think I would have to put any more than that. So we will have it stay up right there. So we're gonna test out the Ohuhu marker, see if it's settled. See, And now it's actually working. So see, it used to look like this, and now it's like this. Still, it has a little bit of the old ink in it, so it may be because this one's a lighter color than the original color that was in here, but eventually it will switch over to your favorite color. But they're almost the same, so I don't mind at all. But so, ever wondering if you could ever refill an Ohuhu marker? The answer is yes, you definitely can. You just need to buy the Copic ink and it'll be like brand new. And then if you need to exchange the nib, you can always flip it over because it's double-sided, or you can just go out and buy a Copic nib to replace it. And this Copic one doesn't want to drip down. The Ohuhu one dripped down into the nib very quickly, but this one must have been so dry then. I don't know if they sold me a used marker, because even the nib seemed a little used. It wasn't discolored or anything, like the black pencil marks are from me, but the nib just seems a little bit like frayed already, and I've only used it 3 times. So it shouldn't be like that, and it really shouldn't be dried out. So either they sent me a used marker, or they sent me one of the markers that just didn't get filled properly. Either way, it's okay. I'll eventually buy new nibs, but for right now, it's okay. And all my other markers are brand new, so their nibs are fine too. I think that's about it. I think that's about 50 drops into this marker. Yeah, it's starting to seep into the... It's starting to seep into it right now. You know what I'll do? Because I know that it is full. To make it go quicker, I'll just drop some onto the nib. Just to give it a little bit of help. So if you want, you can drop it on both sides. So say if they say about 40, you do 20 on each side. Or, you know, you could do like 25 on each side, depending on how dry it is. This one was very dry. And so the marker should look like this now. So it used to look like this, now it looks like that. And that's the way it really should be. And I'll try the chisel nib too. So if you like this video, please give me a thumbs up, and I will see you next week with another video. Bye!